Alrighty, so you want to get hired on a law enforcement agency. I'm going to give you some tips and advice on how to do that. First of all, I'm a state trooper, so for those of you who don't know that, so I have some good advice on how to get hired on. If you're struggling, as you watched in my last reel, don't worry about it. Being known is part of the process. It can take a little bit to get hired on. It took me a while to get hired on, but I would suggest the first thing to do if you are interested in getting a career in law enforcement is to go do a ride-along with the department that you are interested in. Go do a ride-along with them, see what kind of department they are, what they have to offer. Just kind of make your name known. Get to know the guys, because that'll help you go a long way. Make sure you dress nice, be professional for it. And then after that, if you like it, go ahead and throw your application in with them. You're probably going to have a written test. That's the first step of the process. Study for it. Police Officer for Dummies, I think, is a book that I use because I did not pass a lot of written tests that I took because I'm not that great of a test taker, unfortunately, but that's okay. Just don't give up. Just you study. Study is the most important thing. Like I said, just come prepared for the written test. Same thing, dress nice. And then after you pass a written test, you should be getting invited to take a physical. The physical in all departments do it differently. The physical I would prepare for. It's run, 1.5 mile run, push-ups, sit-ups, box jump, and a sprint. Some departments have agility courses. So it's not that, the minimum requirements are pretty easy, but obviously you want to exceed those. And my suggestion is to you guys is come prepared for that. And train for it, because the better you do, the more likely you're going to be able to get hired on the police department. Then you'll go on the polygraph. That's pretty simple. Just be honest. Don't lie on it. That's probably the biggest thing that most people get washed out because they lie on their polygraph. So just, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Just get it all out there. You'll be fine. And then after that, you'll get your psychological test, which is pretty easy. Just make sure you're not crazy, that you can mentally do the job. Pretty straightforward. Then you'll probably get your conditional offer if everything goes well. They like you. Background check comes back clean. You'll get your conditional offer. So that's, I would say, the most important thing is to make yourself known in the police department, make a good name for yourself. The ride-along is extremely important. Me personally, I wouldn't show up and apply to an agency unless I've done a ride-along with them, because that shows that you're interested in the department, and it's not just another police department you're applying for. So I would suggest doing a ride-along, making yourself known. That's going to help you a lot get hired on. Come prepared. Ask questions during your ride along. Don't just kind of sit there and act on it. The stuff goes, the little things go a long way. I know it, because that officer could be asked by the chief or the colonel or whatever, sergeant, lieutenant, and say, "Oh man, how was your ride along last night? Did he seem interested? Does he seem like a good candidate?" So ask questions during your ride along. That's all I have for now. I'm going to have a lot more videos on stuff, but that's probably one of the biggest things in getting hired along with never giving up. Train. Do good. Go to the gym. Get ready for your physical. Well, all those things are very important when you're getting hired on with the police department. Go over interview questions, and I'm going to go over some of those too with you guys. Practice interviewing. I was constantly talking to myself. Some of the biggest questions on the interview are, The scenario-based ones, you can't really, I mean, you can prepare for them, but the most common and probably the first question they're going to ask you is, tell us about yourself. So I'm not very good about talking about myself, but so what I would do is just constantly go in my head, well, I'm so-and-so, I graduated college in this, I got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, I did my internship with so-and-so, I've done a bunch of ride-alongs, I worked as a Marine deputy, blah, 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 blah. Just talk yourself up. So that's usually the first question they're going to ask you is, tell us about yourself. And then why do you want to be in law enforcement? That's another big one. And I'm telling you that I want to help people is not going to fly. That's what everybody and their brother says. You want to come up with something unique, something along the lines of, I love the fact that every day's different. It's not a desk job. I'm going to be responding to a variety of different calls. I grew up in this community, and I get to give. It's been a great community to me growing up, and I want to give back to it. Things like that. I want a challenging career. Law enforcement is a challenging and stressful career, and I want to challenge myself. So things like that, guys, is which the interview is very, very, very important. Probably the biggest one. Out of all the steps in the hiring process, the interview is probably the biggest one. So I'm very, very prepared for that. Go over those kinds of questions, the couple that I just went over. And I'll go over some more if you guys want me to. But for now, that's going to be it for this video. I don't want to ramble on for too long. If you have any questions, please let me know. I can go over all kinds of different stuff with you guys. I mean, I've been there. It took me a long time to get hired on, guys. So just keep at it and it'll happen. And I'll see you guys in the next video.